Hello and welcome to our channel, Cheating Exposed. Today, we're revealing another story. Wife has left me for my best friend, and they've already started trying to get pregnant. I guess I should call him my former best friend at this point, but it's hard to accept it's all gone just like that. You spend so many years with a person, building a relationship, and one day, it all turns to dust. I've known him since high school, about 15 years ago. He was like a brother to me and like a son to my parents. When we were younger, we were at each other's houses all the time. He was always coming with my family on trips, and I did the same with his. We've done so much together. He was the best man at my wedding, and I would have been the best man at his. Many trips, many nights spent out together. Many times we helped each other. So many conversations about life, love, and ourselves. He was always my go-to person in tight situations and when I needed advice. It's hard to say how much losing him hurts because, for whatever else he is, he was always there for me when I needed him, a solid source of advice. He was a true friend until he wasn't. Losing him might be as big of a blow as losing my wife. I've been married to my wife for almost 5 years, but we've been together for 7. I remember when we first met, love at first sight. She was gorgeous, with these really piercing blue eyes and an infectious laugh. We hit it off, and to my surprise, she accepted when I asked her out, even though I felt like she was out of my league. I fell even more in love with her as we got to know each other. She had such a passion for life and helping people. She was so kind and gentle with everyone, just a really warm person, and that made me love her more. I loved being married to her. I always felt our marriage was great, not just good. I was not one of those husbands who let himself go. I took care of myself, ate well, and remembered all our anniversaries and special dates. When she talked to me, I listened and paid attention. I took a genuine interest in her life because I loved her, and it was important to me. At the same time, I gave her space. I wasn't needy or clingy. I made sure to do my part around the house. I cleaned as much as she did. Our sex life was great, as far as I could tell. I did my best to love her and care for her the way a husband should, to show her she was appreciated. I tried to keep dating her even after we got married. I can say without any doubt that I never took her for granted. I don't know what else I could have done. I've asked myself that over and over again, and I still don't know. I wonder if I did too much. Did she think I was a pushover? Did she not respect me? I'm not saying our marriage was perfect. We had arguments, but they were never major ones. The trouble started when my best friend broke up with his girlfriend. He was pretty upset and took it hard. I talked to him, but one day, my wife asked me if I minded her going out for coffee with him to talk and give him a woman's perspective. I told her that was fine with me. She and my best friend were also friends. We'd done couples trips with him and his girlfriend, and she had spent a lot of time with him just because he was around me so much. I didn't think anything of it because their relationship never seemed inappropriate. I do remember him saying I was lucky and that she was attractive when we first started dating and when I married her, but there were never any inappropriate jokes or anything like that. My wife might have said he was handsome at some point, but that was it. I saw no red flags, and even after thinking about it more, I still don't see any. I never saw anything that made me think there was ever a chance of them being more than friends. When my wife came back from coffee, she seemed a bit off. She was really angry at his ex and said that he deserved better. I remember telling her something like, "He's young, and he'll mend in time," and she seemed very upset by this. She said he needed time and that whatever girl ended up with him would be very lucky, that his ex was a fool to leave him. I may be misremembering parts of that conversation, but that was the basic gist. She was very sparse on details and vague about what they talked about, but at the time, it didn't seem weird to me. It felt like she was just being protective of him, the same way I would be. Her behavior started getting stranger after that night. She wasn't doing anything really overt or suspicious, but she was vague about what she was doing. She would say she was going to see one of her friends or running an errand, stuff like that. I'm not a controlling person, and she had never given me a reason to doubt her, so I didn't make an issue out of it. And really, at that time, I didn't find it so strange. I noticed my friend was acting weird too, but I assumed it was because of his breakup and him feeling depressed. I'd invite him to hang out, and he'd turn me down, which was unusual. He never had a reason other than he was busy. I started seeing less and less of him, and when I did see him, he was different. I wouldn't say nervous, but he definitely seemed uncomfortable. Then one day, he sent me a message asking me to stop by his house. He said we needed to talk about some things and that he had to get some stuff off his chest. I drove over there, not suspecting anything. I knocked on the door, and he came to answer. I tried to make some jokes and light conversation, but he completely ignored me. He asked me to go into the living room, and there was my wife, sitting on his couch. I don't know if I knew at that moment, but a sense of dread started creeping over me. She started crying almost as soon as I walked in, and he jumped right in, telling me there was no easy way to say what he was about to say, but he and my wife were in love and wanted to be together. I stood there, completely stunned. It felt like I wasn't even alive for a moment. When I started to come back to my senses, they both kept saying how sorry they were, that they loved me and regretted how things happened. They told me this just happened and that they never intended for things to turn out this way. They knew it was wrong, but it didn't matter because they were in love. They both swore they hadn't slept together, that it was only an emotional affair. I don't know if that's true or not, but at this point, I don't think it really matters. And that's basically where we are now. Since that day, I've gotten more texts from them, apologies, messages from my wife asking if I'm okay, telling me she's here for me and that she still cares about me. But I mostly ignore them. They're not as frequent anymore either. She decided to move out. I didn't ask where she was going, but a friend of mine told me she moved in with my former best friend as soon as she left. That was only a few months ago. She stopped by the house a few days ago to pick up some things. I tried to avoid her, but then she asked me if I had a second. She told me that she and my former friend are trying to have a baby. She wanted to give me a heads up so we could deal with it while going through our divorce. She also wanted to tell me personally because she felt I deserved to hear it from her. It hurt so much to hear how she's already moving on. We wanted to have children together, but she wanted to wait until she turned 30. Now he's going to be the father of her children, and I'll have to watch her carry his child. I'm here looking for any advice you can give me. I don't know how to deal with her getting pregnant. I feel like that's going to be an even bigger source of pain once it happens. I feel so jealous of him because he's getting the life I wanted with her. I also know that her getting pregnant means it's really over. Once that happens, there's no chance of reconciliation. I've considered asking her to try counseling, but I haven't because I doubt she'd be interested. She wants him. She wants a life with him. And I just don't know how to process all of this. I don't understand how either of them could do this. I don't understand how I didn't see it coming. I don't understand why she left when we were happy. I feel like I don't believe in anything anymore. If you can't trust your wife, if you can't trust your best friend, if a marriage doesn't last no matter how much effort you put in, then what's real? What's the point? Life just isn't fair sometimes. I decided to reach out to my former friend's ex to see what her version of the breakup is. Maybe nothing will come of it, but I feel like I at least need to try. Maybe I'll learn something I didn't know before. I spoke to one attorney already, but I haven't gotten serious about hiring a lawyer yet. Next week, I'm going to start seriously looking for one. My friends and family have given me some recommendations, so I'll start going through their list. I also know I need counseling. I don't know when I'll start, but I'm pretty sure I'll enroll in something soon. My mental state isn't great right now, and I don't think I have the tools to pull myself out of this alone. I need help. I've also been thinking about writing to my wife and ex-friend. A lot of people asked why I didn't do anything when they told me, and that question really stuck with me. It made me realize I never actually told them how I feel. I never told them how much they've hurt me. And I think they need to hear it, even if they don't care. I've also been considering other suggestions people have given me to help cope. I'm planning to make some changes around my house to make it feel more like mine until I can move. I'll try to keep myself busy, but honestly, the hardest part has been the nights. When it's quiet. When I'm alone. Like right now. Update. I just want to take a moment to thank all of you for your support. I never expected strangers on the internet to care so much about me and my situation, but your messages and advice have meant more than I can say. I tried to respond to as many as I could, but even if I didn't reply, I read them all. Just knowing I had that kind of support helped me more than you know. I also want to apologize for not updating sooner. I know I said I would post an update weeks ago, but every time I tried, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I wasn't ready. But today, I am. A lot of people suggested I reach out to my ex-friend, let's just call him EF for ease, ex-girlfriend, to see if she had any suspicions about him cheating with my wife. I did reach out to her, but she confirmed F's version of their breakup. When I asked if she had noticed anything suspicious before they split, she said no, she had no reason to believe he was involved with someone else. She seemed genuinely shocked that he and my wife ended up together, so I believe she was telling the truth. In my first post, I mentioned wanting to write a letter to my wife and EF for closure. Most of you advised me not to send it. You were right. I wrote it for myself, but I never sent it. And honestly, I'm glad I didn't. It wouldn't have mattered to them anyway. A few weeks ago, I finally chose an attorney. He came highly recommended, and I trust him to protect me and make sure I come out of this divorce as whole as possible. Last week, I officially filed for divorce. That was a hard day. Even now, there's still a small part of me that fantasizes about her coming back, saying she made a mistake and wants to fix things. But that's not reality. That's never going to happen. And I can't live my life waiting for a fantasy. Whatever sense of relief I had leading up to the filing was completely wiped out when it actually happened. I've been feeling more depressed again. I looked into counseling, like a lot of you suggested, but I decided now isn't the best time. I just started a new project at work, and between that and the other changes I've been making in my life, I've been keeping myself busy. And for now, that helps. This might sound strange, but a part of me doesn't want to feel better. I feel like this is exactly how I should feel when my marriage is ending. Like anything else would be wrong. As for the alienation of affection suit, I've decided not to pursue it. I know a lot of you wanted me to go for it, but my attorney was honest with me. He said it wouldn't be easy, and there were no guarantees. And in the end, I just don't care about the money. Even if I won, it wouldn't change anything. My biggest priority right now is to be done with this as soon as possible. I decided to move away and start fresh once everything is finalized, and I can't do that until the divorce is over. The only other major update is that my wife contacted me after getting the divorce papers. She asked if we could meet and talk. I haven't responded, and honestly, I don't know if I ever will. I don't feel like I have anything left to say to her, and I doubt she has anything to say that I want to hear. As for how I've been spending my time, I've been running more, reading a lot, and even tried yoga and meditation. Like the yoga, but meditation? Not for me. Work has been keeping me busy, which helps. I thought about learning French, but decided to put that on hold for now. Instead, I've been focusing on hobbies, picked up fishing again, started a couple of small projects, just anything to stay busy so my mind doesn't have time to wander. Around the house, I've made some changes. I got rid of a lot of things that reminded me of my wife. Bought a body pillow for my bed, which sounds dumb, but somehow, it helps me relax a little more. I'm still sleeping in the guest room, though I might move back into the master soon. Doesn't really matter. I still can't sleep well, and I don't think changing rooms will fix that. Lately, I've been reading more about failed relationships and watching videos on how to process everything. One YouTube talk really stuck with me. The speaker said that if someone moves on from you quickly, they were never really your one. That hit me hard. I spent years believing my wife was my person, but if she could do all this, then she never really was. He also talked about accepting that sometimes, people we love become just a memory. I'm trying to reframe my thoughts around that now. That's really all I have for now. Not the happiest or most eventful update, but that's just how it goes, I guess. Well, folks, that's all. Thank you all for listening. Please like, comment, and share the video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.